Okay, so here we are in Lightwave now, and I'm just going to demonstrate this with a mesh that I've created before. This is a sort of base head that I use for a lot of stuff. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and it's available with this tutorial. So there you can see I've already loaded in the front. I've just loaded in the other two images. Okay, so we'll just load in all three of the images there, front, side, and back. And what we're going to do here now is set up the backgrounds so we can use them as modeling reference and stretch this mesh to kind of fit. And what we want to do is look at these dimensions here, the actual size of the image, and we're going to basically draw some boxes, and these boxes are going to be our used to define the actual size of the background image. So we're going to type in the dimensions of the actual pixel size of the image here into the width and height of the front. So we know that this box is exactly the same size as, or same dimensions as the actual reference image. And there we have it, and it's a bit large at the moment, but we'll fix that in a second, don't worry. And we'll just give it a surface name. We'll just call it base head front, and OK. And now we'll just create a box for the side, and you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment. It's very, very handy. And just exactly the same process. Create a box, the side, left hand side that one is. And just again look at the pixel size. I mean, we know it's exactly the same as the last one, so we want to type these into the height and the depth this time. So just copy those dimensions in there, obviously doing these in millimeters so it's not gigantic. Oops, typed them in the wrong way around, sorry. I should swap the depth with the height there. And then you'll start to see how this is going to work. Okay, so there you can see we've got two boxes now, and both exactly the same dimensions as the two reference images for the front and the side. So we'll just call that side. And now what we want to do is UV map both these boxes. So we'll start with the front, and we'll just go to oh sorry, actually no, first of all we'll just we'll center them using the F3, which is just a center object. So there you go. Right, now we'll UV map the front one first. Make UV, we'll just call it face front, and along the Z axis, and create. And then if we just look in the UV texture panel here, you can see the texture there. And just again, exactly the same for the side image. Make UV, face side, X-axis this time obviously, and create. And now what we want to do is go into the surface editor. Just ignore these other surfaces in here, they're for another model that I had open earlier. And just select the face front, and UV map, select the one that we created there, face front, and then just select the image, which is our face front PSD. And you'll see that pop up now on the sorry, I got the wrong one selected. See that pop up on the face front reference box that we've made there. Okay, so we know that those pixel dimensions are identical to that of the image. And just do exactly the same thing for the side. UV map, face side, and face side again. And then if we just look at those, you can see there that that's the right dimensions. Now it might be handy just to make these double-sided, just because when you're flipping them around and stuff, it's easier to see them from both sides. So just switch that on in the surface panel there. Okay, so that's a basic setup using geometry for our reference. Now what we want to do is apply that as background images in Lightwave, but we want to match this geometry roughly to the same size as the face or the base mesh that we're going to be using. So what we'll do is we'll just select both of those, just drag that object back a bit, and you can see there in the bottom left view that we've now got that in the background. It's not yet a background reference image, it's still geometry, so we can scale it very, very easily. And what we're going to do here is just sort of scale the box around and try and match up some of the features to the features on the mesh. I mean, obviously the mesh looks nothing like this guy, but it's always a good starting point to have the eyes and the mouth in roughly the right position. You know, it just makes things easier. So we'll just scale it around there, try and sort of roughly position the lips and the nose and the eyes. Okay, sorry, just excuse the frame rate on my computer here, it's not particularly great. Right, so we'll just move this back a little bit so we can see a bit more of the shape of the head, because at the minute it's intersecting halfway through the head, which is handy because you can only see the front, but I'd like to see a bit more of the back of the head. Just scaling it, moving it around there. I mean, this is, like I said, it's never going to match perfectly, but the closer we can get it, the better. And again, once we've got the front set up, we want to do the same with the side. And with this, we only want to move this along the sort of x-axis, so it doesn't, if we move it up or down, we're going to ruin the alignment completely. So, oops, moved it up there by accident. Again, excuse the frame rate, I'm sorry. Okay, so there we go. I mean, you can see the ears in the wrong position, but all we're really worried about at this point is the sort of the nose, the lips, the front of the head, and the chin, really, and that's almost correct. It's not right by any stretch of the imagination, but it's getting there. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to set these as background images so that they can't be moved. So we'll just go to background, we'll select the bottom left panel, which is our front, select face front, we'll turn the image resolution up, and we'll hit automatic sizing. And I'll just show you what this does here. If I stick this on wireframe mode, you see that the box that we've made there, automatic sizing, and there you go, it matches exactly the box that we've made, but this isn't geometry anymore, this is just an actual background reference image. Right, and again we'll do exactly the same with the side, bottom right panel, and preset, just set that, that's it. Okay. Right, now what we'll just do, just so as if this ever, crashes or whatever, we'll just save out all these backgrounds. It's always a good idea to do this because every time you load the scene, it's not going to remember these backgrounds. It's a bug with Lightwave, I guess. But saving them means you can always load them back in at any point. Okay, so there we have the background set up and the geometry in place. In part 2 of this chapter, we're going to look at how to match this geometry to the background images and also how to very quickly project it on using planar maps.